first thing I want to check with you, in your own personal lives and professional life, you keep using spreadsheets, you keep using PPTs and all. What was your first interest with AI? And what is that activity that you have given it to AI and completely absorbed yourself, each one of you? Starting with Bhavesh sir.
I think
One personal and one professional activity that you completely left into AI.
I think I've started memorizing less. My RAM is freed up a bit. I no longer have to remember a lot of things that I can just ping and get the answers from the AI model, say, if it is about a meeting, if it is about certain data points, certain decisions which has been made, certain actions which have been taken, certain escalations to the extent, it's just a ping away. There have been times when, not this particular organization, but there have been times in the previous organization wherein I'm sitting in front of customer, and customer starts to talk about, certain escalations that this so-and-so things have not been addressed so far. And there have been times when I don't know what that escalation is. Because my team below would have been handling, or something may have been happening. So just to make sure that I do not sound alien, I would quickly get into my mobile and do a Copilot search about the recent escalation and immediately be ready to answer and remain in the context, right? So I've that is the first thing, useful thing I would say. The second thing is I've always considered myself as someone who loves synthesizing long transactions, be it email or any other issues. Today, I no longer have to go through the entire conversation and juggle my head around. The summary aspect of the feature of the AI is really, really helpful for me, and I use that very, very effectively.
So you will take the gist of the entire email or the entire subject.
That's correct. That's correct. So it fast tracks my decision making and communication.
Yes, sir.
So for me, I've stopped making PPTs myself. So I think I realized that there are tools which can do it much better than you, whether it is to visualize, whether it is to find the right quote or the statistics or things which will make your story better. I think that I found to be really, really helpful. And then I also found that you can brainstorm with AI quite well. I mean, earlier you have to find an expert who can do that effectively with you, right? And finding experts not that easy. And here you have a tool with whom you can actually do brainstorming as if you are brainstorming with an expert, and also get into the depth of so many topics. And like I like, in my personal level, I like to understand more about astronomy and mind-boggling. I mean, the kind of things that I've learned over the last few months, right? I think if I had to do this otherwise, I had to find a teacher who's has that background and really go through a structured process. Here, I can do that in my free time. I think this is how I kind of use for my personal life as well as my professional life.
So you find an expert in AI in all those subjects of your interest.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
That's absolutely a lovely question to begin the discussion. I never thought I would use writing email summaries, right? So earlier I used to read long email threads and prepare summaries, but now AI can give structured summary within few seconds. Okay, but the best part is, important part I consider, I still validate it. So I have outsourced speed, but not my responsibility. Okay, so by reducing this time, I have given mental space for strategic decision, which is most important. So that's how we have transformed. Thank you. And personal, obviously, being a lady, right? I'm the only chef in my home. How to prepare biryani in 10 minutes.
So all the boys who are putting up the biryani stalls, there is an AI, you can help
Firstly, thank you for inviting me for this ceremony. And in terms of how I use AI, I think for personal purposes, I definitely use ChatGPT Health a lot. And my father always used to say that an experienced patient is always better than a new doctor. So I think ChatGPT is more an experienced patient than a doctor. So if I have any kind of slight stomachache, headache, I stop going to a doctor. Of course, I don't advise any of you to do that, but it is at our own risk. So I definitely use the health module a lot on personal side. On the professional side, I would say if you want to do any kind of work, right? So with the amount of AI that is there, you need to figure out how to break it down to tasks. If you want to do some kind of a research activity, you need to figure out in which geography you want to do your research, on what subject area, what are the kind of subjects, etc., etc. So if you're able to break it down to tasks and then use AI, I think almost anything and everything that you do on the professional front, you can use it. And of course, I use it a lot. Sometimes I exceed my limit on a monthly basis as well. So, yeah. And for those of you who are using it, I would urge you, if you want serious output, you have to go for a paid version, not the free version that comes. Of course, I don't want you to spend thousands of rupees, but if you really want great output, it comes with the paid version, not with the free version. Thank you.
So you have the panelists using AI for different purposes. What you call taking a gist out of the email, getting a help for biryani making, getting health tips, alternative for a doctor. You have everything. So let me start the directed question to you, Himran. You have seen it all, in the sense from the lens of an academician, technology leader, and now driving AI and ML implementation in a top company like JP Morgan. Do you think leaderships and managements are preparing well for this new, this new generation talent requirements? If so, how are they preparing currently with the demand for this new generation talent coming up? And you are spearheading this movement in JP Morgan. How do you manage this?
That's a very important question. Let me share a small example. Recently, I had a conversation with one of the fresher. He was saying that I know Python and machine learning, but I don't know what is an impact in AI impact in decisions, compliance, and or customers. That statement stayed back with me. Okay, so like we are producing technical talents, no doubt about it, but are we producing the contextual talents? So that should be the next question over here it is. Because when you say leadership preparedness, right, it's not about hiring more data scientists. It's all about over here it is, I believe, redefining roles and rethinking and refining skill sets, which is most important. Okay, so in any AI native organizations, right, we need people who understand rules and regulations. We need people who can explain AI decisions to non-technical stakeholders, which is very, very important. And so here it is, all the leaders should think, instead of asking a question, how many AI experts do we have? They should ask, how many AI literate we have? So that's a transformation, because I strongly believe that, so the transformation, whatever is happening, it's not about tools, it's about people. Thank you.
So you mean to say, even in the organization of a tool like JP Morgan, also you have literacy as a challenge when it comes to large organizations where you need to prepare people, the mass, to get AI integrated?
Definitely no. So when Sir asked the question over here, it is how many of you having a subject of AI, right? I have seen only like it is 4-5 hands. I believe all of you are part of AI. So do you think AI is a separate subject? Definitely no. It's an integrated part over here it is. Whatever we are speaking, right? You don't need to be good at programming languages. But you have to be strong in your plain languages. That itself we say prompt. That's it. It's only the communication gaps. So like it is, I don't find it as a challenging. So everyone are like it is, this is at a different level. So if they work as a developer, if they work as like it is business school, finance, all the domains, that's where we have the roles in irrespective of the domains. AI is everywhere.
Great. Thank you so much. Sir Ramakrishna sir, my question to you as a senior leader in Capgemini, again, being named in this entire field of technology, your role is to plan for a client's successful AI projects implementation and clients have to find the benefit of the AI, how do you go about getting those people to understand technology on one side and again customer experience? These are two, while customer experience is the softer side, the AI is a technology side. How do you bridge that in your role?
Yeah. So I think when it comes to AI, right, it has almost broken every other role that is being performed in the industry. It is not specific to customer experience. It is not specific to banking. It is not specific to insurance. So I think in the process of industrialization around 1960s and 70s, what we did is that if you ask somebody to manufacture a car, he will not be able to manufacture a car. So we just divided it into parts. Somebody manufactures an axle, somebody manufactures an engine, somebody manufactures a gearbox, etc., etc. So we completely componentized it. And then we industrialized it. You can have an entire assembly line which can make cars. And almost the same thing happened to software industry. Instead of having somebody who can do everything, we actually broke down the roles. Somebody is a designer, somebody is a developer, somebody is a tester, etc., etc. Which is where we could scale, right? If you look at the number of people in India who are working on software, it is almost a millions. Now with AI coming into picture, I would say in the last 2 years specifically, it has actually blurred the boundaries. Anything which is small, which is almost a micro task, is something AI is very good at automating. So AI has got extreme precision in delivering a micro task, which is possibly sometimes better than a human. So I think what humans should now focus on is having a kind of macro picture. You should not think that you are entering a job market. You should think that you are entering a builder's market. You are going to build something. You are going to build a massive organization. You are going to build a massive portal for e-commerce, which will be used by millions of users. Then if you have a macro picture saying that if you want to build this, you need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, then I think you will be able to help. And the same applies to designers. If you look at it, around 3 to 4 years back, it was a separate skill, and it was mostly kind of some management graduates who were getting into design, who were getting into moving it from design to execution. But now I think some part of strategy, some part of design can be well done by AI. So now it is for people to figure out what is the overall objective of this exercise, what is the kind of business goals that we meet, and then get into the design part of it. So obviously it's not about knowing AI. We definitely need people who know how to make the best use of it, which is where the industry is trending towards. Thank you.
But
Yeah.
do clients also ask what is expected the final outcome of the AI program implementation from companies like Capgemini?
Yes.
This is what we want.
Exactly. So if you look at AI, right? So the first thing is something which was taking 6 months earlier can be now done in possibly a month or possibly in 2 months. So the speed has definitely increased. The speed of execution, the precision of execution has definitely increased. Where we need to now focus on is to give the right inputs to AI so that you get the right output. It is obviously going to be dependent on what you want that AI to do. It's almost, if you have to mentor your junior who is joining the first year, you have to tell him that in first year I have to go through these subjects, second year I have to go through these subjects, then you become a professional. Almost the same thing here. If you are able to mentor AI properly, you get the output. And obviously clients are very, very interested in it, because first the speed has increased. Something which was taking 2 years now can be done in possibly 6 months. Second, the precision of output has increased. And third, possibly they can go to the market much faster. And they need people in the area of experience, in the area of delivery, in the area of commerce, in the area of cybersecurity, in the area of networking, who can do things faster. Right. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. The next question is for Mahesh sir. Mahesh sir was always a good friend of GIBS. He was there for our HR conclave. Please do a big hand up. What is very, very impressive about Mahesh sir's profile in LinkedIn is he is a responsible AI evangelist. And the very word evangelist speaks everything about AI and how AI can actually transform lives in the most ethical way, I suppose, is what is his intent. Your journey as a responsible AI evangelist in top organizations would have exposed you to big challenges of AI being perceived as a harbinger of jobs killer. I mean, that's one of the biggest criticism that people keep encountering, isn't it? When this is a harbinger of death or killer of jobs and all that. How do you respond to this as a leader, and what are the rational justifications for pushing AI? Now you are on the side of AI and we are all on the other side.
So thank you. I think 2-3 things. One is you mentioned about evangelism, right? So half of my role is to educate clients. Many a times clients believe that as responsible AI team members, we are a hurdle for innovation. Yeah, I mean, they kind of have that perception that when we ask them to invest in tools for monitoring and others, they feel that, hey, you are asking us to do, you are almost questioning what we are doing. Why do you even need responsible AI, right? So a large part of our job is to really educate them about the risks that come by, right? And risks are not just about jobs. Risks are humongous. I mean, in this agentic AI world, where you have multi-agent systems, and the output of one agent is going as an input of other, and there are new risks coming like collusion risk. Collusion risk is very interesting, yeah, and we are yet to really find a good method to, one, detect it, second, have method to control it, right? And assume a situation where you give control of a certain function to these list of agents, and then you don't know what these guys are doing, right? And you lose control almost, yeah? So as a responsible AI team member, our job is to, one, have our stakeholders appreciate the role we play. Second is to really help them understand that while you are innovating, absolutely do innovation, but do responsible innovation. Don't do innovation which you regret tomorrow. Yeah, and of course you would have heard terms like kill switch, right? So these days people are talking of kill switches, saying that whenever you feel that things are not going good, kill it, right? I mean, of course, killing is easy; it's just a button, whatnot. But there are a lot of investments that go down the drain as well, right? So how do you plan for it in a structured manner? So that's about my role. Now coming to job displacement risk, I think there are 3 anxieties in the AI world. One is, of course, job displacement. The second is also you think that you are giving away your decision-making power away to an agent, right? And then the third one is about thinking. And we all think that, I mean, we all believe that maybe we are giving away our thinking power away, and we are thinking less. And
as Lakshman said, you are outsourcing your thinking or not the responsibility.
yeah. So first one is job displacement. So I think AI will not displace jobs, it will displace tasks in a job. What I mean by that is, if you look at a particular job, you have a list of tasks that you do on a daily basis or hourly basis, right? Certain things are done and could be mundane. Like, for example, if you join a job and you are asked to research about companies, you have to go to various websites, cull out some summaries of them, and then prepare some nice looking slides and things like that. So is that something you enjoy doing, or can it be done better? All right. So if you see that displacements will be more around the task. So there are certain tasks which can be done better by an AI, right? So task displacement for sure will happen, and I'm not ruling out a situation down the line when AGI and other comes by, when we might have a job displacement issue. But at least for now, we are talking about task displacement, right? And for that, I would really encourage you all to really augment your skill sets with these skills, right? So that whenever you join a job by saying that, hey, I am bringing my own core skill set, which is domain knowledge, functional knowledge, and all that. And I'm also bringing a knowledge of how to use AI to do things better. The tasks that AI can do better, I'm getting it done through it, right? So you're augmenting your skill sets through an AI, right? Now, around decision making, I think it's very important that all of us think through what responsible use of AI means, right? So all of us kind of use AI for searching about some information and all that. But how many times do we know whether that's an hallucinated content or a true content? Do you go back and ask for citation? May not, right? So try doing that. So don't believe whatever you're getting it. You go and ask, hey, where did you find it? Give me a source where this was written. Yeah? And don't also believe data which is published by bodies which are not trustworthy. Yeah? go for trustworthy sources, which could be government, could be research houses or World Economic Forum and things like those, which are more credible sources, right? So always ask for the sources whenever you are using AI, right? So hence, if you do that, I mean, you're not giving away the thinking. I mean, you're not blindly believing what you're getting. If I ask, in fact, in our roles, we also help some of the foundation LLMs. We also create safety features for them. In fact, very interestingly, in some of those, you could have asked for methods to do self-harm, and it will give you the exact method how to do self-harm. And to an extent, we found that it also made a calendar invite for you to do that self-harm. It's as crazy as that. So we had to kind of intervene to make that happen. So what I'm only saying is, don't outsource decision making. Keep that with you and make the AI do what you want it to do, rather than the other way around of believing what it's giving you and you are taking a decision based on that, right? And the last one was more around whether you will give away thinking, yeah? Whether your thinking power will go down because of the use of AI. It would if you, again, blindly believe what you're getting. If you know what you're asking and you're getting what you want, then you're not giving away the thinking to an AI, right? Hence, I would really recommend that all of you get a certification on prompt engineering, yeah, which will really teach you the right way to ask questions, right, to an AI. So you are really asking questions in the methodical and scientific manner, so that you are not giving away the thing. You are doing the thinking, and you are only asking the AI to do what you want it to do, right? And not just give a one-liner, prompt saying that, can you do this for me? Then you are fully dependent on what it gives you, no? Other than that, you exactly ask.
Most popular prompt the students give is, please give me the answer for these questions and let me complete my assignment for today.
Yeah, so maybe turn it around and ask step by step. There are various methods like COT, right, chain of thought. So ask a very structured question, yeah, and then you will keep the thinking with you, but you will make the AI do what you want.
Thank you so much, sir. Very clear. And I think what you said is, what are at risk are the tasks, but the jobs are more or less safe. If you are ready to be AI ready. Yeah. Okay. Let me go to Bhavesh sir. Sir, your experience in top IT technology giants like Microland, Wipro, and then followed by transformation and move towards the new. And now at VFS, I mean, I never thought that in VFS will have this AI transformation and all that. You are championing the transformation journey in 150 countries to diverse teams. What, according to you, are India's big strengths in this age of AI? What are the areas of improvement for Indians in this AI world?
I think before I answer that, yeah, it's a very nice question. If I may ask students, how many of you use Gemini, ChatGPT? The answer would be 100% of you, right? So I know that answer, so no need to raise that hand. But how many of you have gone back and changed the settings and created a profile for yourself and given instruction, one-time instruction such as, always tell me truth, don't try to just please me?
Oh, is that required?
You've done? Please do that, and you will see your answers in future would be much different than what you have been getting so far. There have been days when I ask as a to a platform that, hey, you know what? I think I should do XYZ. What do you say? Yes, you should, because it is good in ABCD. You know what I was you answer. You know? Then you flip the question. No. I don't think I should do XYZ. I should do ABC. Oh yeah, you're right.
So it agrees.
So it always tries to please you, unless you ground it, unless you push it to think deep. just try to add in every search that you make, in the end, say, think deep and answer. Just add that one prompt in any query that you make. Try to add on top of your query the kind of structure answer that you want instead of leaving it open-ended. Okay, so coming back to your question, sir. I think India, and what I'm saying is not completely my thought, it's an amalgamation of so many podcasts that all of us hear. In the recent AI Summit also, it was spoken that India is moving from the back office of the world to brain office of the world.
Back office to brain office.
Yes. In the sense, whatever outsourcing, software outsourcing or whatnot that we have been doing, we are, one good thing is that we have our average age of the population is much lower than some of the other Western countries, right? So propensity of we learning faster is far more superior. The Servom AI, any idea how many data engineer would have developed that model? Any idea? Yeah, Servom AI, which got launched in several local languages. Hardly 20 to 25. And the CEO of Servom AI mentioned that they've been in the industry for long, but then it took only a few days for their engineers to learn what is required for them to build the model. And the frugality nature of us, instead of going for LLMs, large language model, to SLMs, specific simple language model with much lesser. We don't always require trillion parameter model. Certain billion parameter model will do the task. What is required is how well do we ground it? How well do we contextualize it? So India will play a huge, and who will do that? I think India is, and our population, our young population is uniquely placed to make an impact. The application layer, which is the topmost layer, is what is going to give us the ROI. And we have had that apprehensions that we don't own our own model, foundational model and all. And I think we see some of the models coming out. Some 3 or 4 of them are announced this AI Summit, and many more in pipeline. So we are not going to depend entirely on the West when it comes to even foundational models. So much so, the infrastructure layer, be it chips, be it data center, we will have our own sovereign model. The energy, which is the last layer, we are going to make a stride, very, very, important stride, and there are so much of investment which is happening. But the challenge and the opportunity today is in the gap that we see between the investments which is happening around the globe and the outcome and the deployment which is happening. The rate at which the deployment of these in the enterprise is happening, normal use is fine, all of us are using. But if you look at the gap between the investments and the deployment in the enterprise, it's currently very huge. And primarily the reason is the rate of change. Primarily the reason is the rate at which we are able to learn, the rate at which we are able to deploy. I remember in 2015, 2016, when the RPA had come, robotic process automation, the first project we did took good 10 months. At that time, I was working for an organization. It took 10 months. Then it got reduced to 6 months. And then I changed the organization, did not change the skill, I would say, but changed the organization. As we did more and more deployments, we were able to deploy RPA in 3 days. I think similar story is going to come up in any technology around the globe and across the enterprises. Things that we can learn from other countries is how well do we educate, how fast do we educate our masses, how open are we to accepting change. For example, sir, you were only mentioning that initially when the students were using ChatGPT and other models, there was a side of you who were, opposing that. But sooner rather than later, you would realize that no, it is okay to use that for various reasons. Is open book exam tougher or closed book exam tougher? Open book. Open book forces you to think, a lot harder, right? There would be days when the teachers, your professors would say, use any GPT, but get me the best answer. And that day,
But again, the criticism against India is a big consumer of AI,
Yeah.
but not a great developer of AI like US or China, who are much, much ahead of India. So where is that gap?
sorry sir, I couldn't catch you.
India is a big consumer of AI. We use ChatGPT, we use Gemini, all this, but not really developers of AI models and
No,
China and US are well ahead.
no longer, sir. I think now you see there are a lot of models, and the Honorable Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that as of today, 95% of the work which is happening in India, even if ChatGPT, Gemini, and outside non-sovereign model are pulled off, we'll be able to run.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is a big hand to India and
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I want to, since you're just starting off and you'll be starting off your career very soon, I want to leave you with that thought that never underestimate the concept of first principle. The calculators came, so many inventions happened, but that doesn't mean that you don't, work on the number table. Just because calculator came, don't think, we or calculators came much before us, right? We never had to memorize the table, or we never had to do manual calculation. Similarly, when it comes to learning things, those first principles, logic behind, even if it is coding or the critical thinkings behind it, and those things you will learn over here rather than in any GPT model or anywhere else that you will learn.
Thank you so much, sir. Very nice. Ramesh, sir. AI native firms. Let's come to the AI native firms, and then in the manufacturing sector, we talk about electric cars, and we hear about BYD and Tesla. BYD has become a leader, marching towards smart driving systems. They call them eyes of God. And you have to visualize and enlighten our audience now. What are the wonders AI is going to bring to humanity? Because driverless cars is very much there in the next 2 days or 2 months. What are the wonders can we expect now?
I think that's a very tricky question. Possibly, if you look at the scale of innovation, right? In the last few years, I would say, it's not even in the last few years, in the last 2-3 years, the scale of innovation has been very, very high. So if you look at some of the releases from Anthropic, they said anything that a legal person has to do in terms of any of the legal processes. If you want to get some approvals, if you have to file some documentation, if you have to file a case, etc., everything will be done by it. And very soon they are saying that they are going to release specific plugins for financial services, and for healthcare and life sciences. So it means that a lot of jobs in these sectors is going to be disrupted. And I would not be surprised if they do it across the sectors, right? Obviously, they tackle the easiest one first, and possibly they tackle the domain in which process is very well established, and now they will tackle the tougher ones. With respect to scale of innovation, I don't think there is any limit. And if you look at how a flight flies today, I think almost 90% of the job by the pilot is almost redundant. He works only during takeoff and only during landing. The complete flight path is already established even before the pilot gets into the flight. Okay, so it is only 10% that needs to be automated. And
I'm not able to solve the Bangalore traffic problem today.
I think Bangalore traffic problem is a combination of too many things, okay? First is the influx of population. I heard some statistics that almost 2,000 new people settle in Bangalore every day, okay? And in terms of addition of new cars, it is almost a proportional number. Maybe you can think about somewhere around 300 to 400 cars getting added almost on a daily basis. And then it is also about the density of population, the kind of roads that we have, and the kind of discipline that we all follow, including me, including everybody in the room. So I think it's a combination of factors. I don't think it is so easy to solve. So if you take any equation, right, if you take a simple linear equation, you will have one variable, one constant. I think in the traffic problem that we have, I think we almost have 30 to 40 different parameters. And the amount of constraints that we have is almost enormous. I mean, with respect to the road infrastructure, you can't expand the size of the road. You already have buildings on either side.
So the physical constraints come.
Yeah, so you have a lot of physical constraints. I think still there is some amount of automation they can do. For example, they can say that all the offices in this road has to open at 7 a.m. and they have to work from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And some other offices can work from 8 a.m. Yeah, some kind of programming. But it is difficult to implement, and almost if you look at the spending power, almost everybody has a car, and everybody bought a car because he wanted to have independence. He wants to decide at what time he wants to go. He wants to decide at what time he wants to come home. So you cannot tell him that you have to go to office at 7 a.m. It defeats the very purpose of him having the car. So I think it's a lot of independence that each of us have got into our lives. It's a lot of lifestyle changes that each of us have got into our lives. Earlier, if I had to come here, possibly maybe around 20 years back, I would have taken a bus. But today I took a car. So obviously the lifestyle has changed. And then it is also a set of factors related to the amount of new offices that are coming in. Still, Bangalore attracts the highest number of GCCs, which is the Global Capability Centers. So I would say almost on a monthly basis, Bangalore is creating 5,000 to 10,000 new jobs. It is also creating a lot of additional jobs according to that. But it's not that AI cannot solve it. I think we have introduced too many constraints. And then coming to your first question, in terms of what AI can automate or where it will go, I think the list is endless. If AI has to fly a flight, it can almost do it today, except that you need to be prepared to face a risk. So it is only takeoff and landing, which the pilot does. And if you have a runway which is almost of, I think, around 3 kilometers, it can do an automatic landing. Now, if you see most of the runways, it is somewhere less than 2 kilometers, so you need a pilot to land. So I would say for students like you, if you want to get into the market, or if you want to get into the job market, or the way I call it, as a builder's market, you need to have a view of the macro scheme of things, of how things are planned, how things are executed. Only then you can get in. But if you're thinking that my senior who left around 3 years ago, he's doing a very great job, so I can do the same, that's not going to be the case. In the last 3 years, the world has changed a lot. It is going to change. It is going to change further. It is not to scare you. It is just that you need to be prepared, you need to plan, and you need to execute it. So I think one of the famous sayings I heard is that everything needs to be planned. The only thing that happens without planning is an accident. So if you don't plan how you are going to get into the market, you are going to possibly meet with an accident. So just plan properly. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. I think some of the good things about AI in healthcare, AI in agriculture, are all going to be the new helps to the humanity. Madam Lakshmi, how do you think business schools, engineering colleges, and for that matter even high schools or primary schools should prepare students for this era of AI innovation and digitalization? Is there a need to totally revamp our education system from primary level to curriculum changes in business schools and engineering colleges? Because you have been in education side. Because talent that we need tomorrow is going to be totally different requirement of the industry. So what are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely love this question. Many of them tell the same, like if AI can write the code, prepare presentation, write your assignments, and even generate report, what is our role? What do you think? What is our role? My answer is very simple. Writing a code is not the goal, thinking is the goal. Okay, if AI can generate the answers, students must learn how to validate the answers. If AI can suggest you solutions, right, being a human, we should decide which solution is impactful, which solution is ethical, and which solution is practical. That's towards the direction. And I think all the panelists also agree. I genuinely believe that the future roles will focus more on revising, supervising, and guiding, validating the roles, right? AI systems. So that kind of a roles you are going to get. It's not about like it is day log in, 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock log out. That's definitely no. And you ask coming to curriculums, so like it is, do we need to throw away all the subjects? Definitely no. I already answered. Like it is, AI is not a subject, sir. It's an integrated part of all the across the streams. It's a collaboration. Are we competing with AI? Definitely no, it's a collaboration with AI. Okay, so here it is. Sir also mentioned that no one is going to lose their job. And I concluded that the kind of roles, whatever you are going to get, it's redefined. So that is what we need to understand. But the curriculum point of view, sir, we should not teach them to, like it is, how to memorize what they should focus, or else memorizing formulas. Instead of that, the AI decisions what is an impact in society, what is an impact in terms of business. Okay, so like it is how the specific algorithm works. Why are they studying that? And being a student sides, they always should be curious and understanding how. Instead of asking themselves what, how it is happening, how it is working, why are we taking this decision, why exactly finance-based, what is the market? All these questions, when they start asking themselves, so for sure they'll get an answers. It's not just going through I do understand academic, it is a formal. So like it is internals, whatever that they have to do that. It's out of syllabus, it may be. So as I already mentioned that once you finish your degree, you are not ready products to the company. Make yourself, shape up yourself. And you just mention any institutions where you want the proof. Actually, so today you are hosting the session, GIBS. Don't you think that institutions here itself, you have the proof that they started thinking beyond? So that's the reason all of us are here, right? The corporate people are here, that's the best proof over here it is. You guys, institution are thinking beyond. Okay, so like, it's a collaboration, sir. Thank you. And definitely, I must say, all of you are at the right place. Okay, right opportunity. Make use of it at the right time. So don't slave whenever the opportunity enters you. So here it is. You will get all the suggestions, and it's like I told to sir also, all of them are like family members, the communications, right? So you can learn anything and everything. AI, it's all about awareness. It's not about memorizing which tool is happening, what is happening. And being an Indian, I always believe that our biggest strength is adaptability. So we can learn fast. If something is happening, that's fine. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, so remove all the negative thoughts. We don't need to redefine any subjects, so like it is. But understand, however, subjects where you can incorporate AI techniques. So this is the transformation need to happen. Other than that, like over here it is, no one is going to lose the jobs, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sir, my next question to Mahesh, sir. These big tech companies like Oracle, SpaceX, and Alphabet, these Google companies, they have built moats. We talk about moats, isn't it, around their patents. Is it not against the democratization of AI? Ideally, AI should be for all and sundry everywhere in the world. But these moats, do they come in the way of the entire process of democratization of AI?
Yeah, maybe I'm the wrong person. I have very strong opinions about patents and others. My personal opinion is that it is working against innovation. Yeah, although there might be arguments saying that you need to incentivize innovation and all that. We could, as humanity, we can think of other ways to incentivize innovation. I mean, when we invented bulbs, did we have patents? We didn't. If you look at history, the biggest innovations happened when there were no patents. So with that, our logic can't be that, hey, patents and others are the only way for innovation. May not be so right. But yeah, I have very strong opinions. I don't want to really color your viewpoint based on that. But I think a good question that I think we all need to, I think one of the points which I wanted to pick up from whatever was spoken is that as students of India and as an Indian populace, I think we've done quite good as an adopter of AI. Yeah? So of course, AI adoption is really come up big time. But I think on the research side, maybe we can do better. Yeah, I mean, if you compare ourselves with China, I mean, you just have to learn what they are doing. It's mind-boggling. I mean, we are not even in the doorstep. Yeah, I mean, we can't even imagine. Like, think about companies like Xiaomi, who used to make your cheapest phone, is making cars. And just look up on YouTube what that car looks like. Like, that would, if that car were to come to India, I doubt whether any of us will buy any other car. Yeah, so I think what we lack is how we kind of do original thinking and do research-based thought process. We don't do knowledge creation. Maybe we should kind of focus on knowledge creation. Like creating an LLM. LLM is an old concept. I mean, attention is all what you need. His paper was published quite long back. I mean, any of us can, if we put our thoughts together, we can make an LLM. But are we kind of putting our thoughts to make something which is really new? Maybe all of us should kind of think about on those lines as a nation and as a public who are really educated, as people who are coming into the market. What can we say that we have brought new thinking? And we have huge whatever advantage with us, our history, our ethos, our languages, and even in language, there are a lot of things that you can kind of discover. So maybe, because all that you see here, all the discoveries or whatever that you hear about are all large language models, right? There's a reason why language is there, because all this intelligence, humanity has preserved in languages, right? And India has one of the best well-preserved languages, from Sanskrit to Tamil to anywhere, Kannada to all of these languages are very well documented, preserved, lot of human wisdom is sitting there. Can we think about doing something with those kind of, richness? I think that's what I would kind of challenge you with, that think on the lines of creating new knowledge and have a habit of reading original papers. So one request or challenge is look up for some of the seminal papers in AI. One is attention is all what you need. It's a Google paper, right? Maybe it's a little technical, but you can ask a ChatGPT to simplify it for you, right? Understand, maybe go into some of those seminal papers and understand the thinking behind some of these technologies. And by the way, we are in the AI era now. Tomorrow will be a quantum era. Are you all prepared? Do we know what it means? Right? So maybe as students, you should be, I would really encourage you to learn more about quantum. Of course, AI is given, all of you will already know quite a lot. But yeah, put on your thinking hats, challenge yourself, and go in the journey of knowledge creation, I would say.
Sir, again, let's look at the time. And Bhavesh sir, one last question, a direct question to you. You are an IITian, you are an IIM man from higher top institutions of India. Now with this industry academia gap, we are coming to this talent gap that is there in AI. And do you foresee a situation where corporates themselves come into this space of education and let's say like the way Mahindra University is there or Ajim Premji's universities are there, you will find lot of industries like Google University coming and taking over this higher education space? Are those days coming?
The short answer is no. If they take over or they take care of education, who will take care of their work?
Oh yes, oh yes. Excellent.
So everyone is elevating their order of work is what we have seen through industrial revolution, right? If you look at around the globe, there are universities which are hundreds of years old, right? And during those hundreds of years, technology have changed, and so is the case in this time. Those universities are becoming more and more valuable. They are not the obsolescence, is not there anymore, and the trend is going to continue. The thing that we learn at the university and the thing that we do in corporate, those are two. There are some overlaps, but these are distinct in various ways. Over here, I was talking about the first principle. I was talking about the critical thinking. I was talking about we learning from each other. That is something is going to continue. The manner in which we learn, probably the method in which we learn, the rate at which we learn is going to definitely evolve, and that's going to change across every field. The productivity is going to get amplified in every sector, every walks of life. What used to take hours to get to a place from A to B when the engines were not invented or the planes were not invented. Now that distance is covered in minutes and much lesser time, right? Similarly, how much time does it take for you to learn a particular concept is drastically reduced. How much time does it take for one to do research? Takes much lesser time. No longer, if there is a question in your brain, you go to library, search for right books, and then do a search in the book. You have the entire library with you, right? You want to understand in a technical jargon, you want to understand in a layman's language. My advice to all of you would be anything that you want to learn, any topic, start with layman language. Start with tell your GPT to explain it to a 7th grader, 6th grader. Today, if I need to learn any concept in any technical field, I tell GPT to tell me in the context of VFS Global. Okay. It gives me an example that I relate very quickly. Yes. Right? So that way, the learning becomes so much faster. What will change? How will this integration happen between corporate and the academia is that the data availability to institutions like us, we are all here, in an anonymized way, if that can happen, probably you will be able to relate to the context much easier, and you will then see how your theoretical knowledge translate into the actual world, and it impacts the real problem solution.
Good, great. I think we are right on time. But before we close, we can't close before you asking some. But there's not much time. Let's give the mic to the students. Maybe 2 questions, sir? One from left, 2 or 3, okay, maximum. Okay? And as the mic goes, I want to pick you one word on a response to this. What is your feeling that India's AI Summit in Delhi, what did it present? Your word, one word, sir.
I think it presented India as an emerging power in AI.
Lakshmi ma'am?
Always I expect summits because it gives the direction. But direction should be followed by execution. That is most important.
It at least set the direction, yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Mahesh sir?
Is no comments good answer?
No comments is, I think we had the highs of Kumbhadoots, their display, and we had Galgote Universities, all that were there.
Yeah.
Let's not get into it, but one word.
We could have done better.
Better. Okay, great. Yes, sir.
I think Sam Altman was asked this question in the AI Summit. What can you learn from China? What can West learn from China? He says, to move fast.
To move fast.
Second question, what can you learn from India? What can the West learn from India in terms of technology? And he says, to move faster.
Faster, yes.
So, India, even though, we may not have the first mover advantage. But if you look at any technology,
We are moving faster.
any technology, I don't think those who invented something first became the leader in that field. The computers may have been invented by company A, but the leader became company B, company C, or somebody who came much later. So it doesn't matter who were the first mover. What matters is, who makes the most of it. Yeah, and I think in this AI Summit, we saw so many startups and the rate at which the startup community is growing over the last 10 years at least. There is enormous potential, and who knows, this puts us ahead of the countries like China and others.
Yeah, guys, boys and girls, first question, yeah.
Good evening, sir, ma'am. I'm sorry, I know that I shouldn't ask a question as an organizer, but I had this question that needed to be answered. And what better place than this? So this question got to me 2 days back. So as sir told AI Summit, there was an editorial in Hindi newspaper. It was about $250 billion investment was there, Galgotia was there, but there was a tiny question, I would say a paragraph. In that it was written, as a report by McKinsey, it told that 700 million people will lose jobs. And as compared to that, 400 million people will get the jobs. So Lakshmi ma'am told that, Mahesh sir told that jobs won't be lost, but jobs will get lost. That's my opinion here. But the problem here is the jobs which are getting lost are for the low-skilled people. And the jobs that are getting created are for the high-skilled people. So what about the low-skilled people here? So that's a huge gap, 300 million people. So that is my question for you.
Maybe you can take this, ma'am.
Jobs. Yeah, I got it. So the same situation happened when computers came actually. Sir also mentioned. It's the same. So what we need to understand, right? It's not a revolution, it's an evolution. So that is the most important thing, and go with the flow over here it is, adapt, and being a business school study, whatever you are studying, right? How finance you can incorporate AI. Marketing, how you can make your products more productive. How you can reach the customers over here it is. Everything, if you speak in terms of AI language, that makes the success. So definitely no one is going to lose the job. I already mentioned that we will be redefining the roles. Okay, so here it is. You will be guiding the AI system. So we are the kingmakers, why you worry?
Also, there are a lot of new jobs getting created. Like for example, there are requirements for training your AI. I mean, one is creating an LLM. Yeah, the other biggest challenge is to train an LLM, right? And to train, you need bunch of people who can really train it really well. And we've done projects where we've trained LLMs on very finer tasks of maybe identifying violation on a video and all that. And that can be done by people maybe who are less skilled, but who are bringing in the skill that we need there is a human skill, right? Of what are you seeing? Can you write it down? Yeah, in a manner which is understandable by a machine. So there are a lot of newer roles which are coming up. It's all, we need to kind of identify methods to look at what new roles are created and be ready for it. Of course, training is the biggest thing. We can't run away from training. All of us have to be skilled. And I really recommend that all of you, when you're passing out from the college, please ensure that you have a few certifications under your belt.
human beings are the second most intelligent species on this planet, just because as recently AI has overtaken that place, just because AI has the capability to learn by itself. So this is my question to you. And the second question is, if you don't know that how actually AI works, then why we are integrating the AI into the most crucial sectors? For example, we are integrating AI into the healthcare, hiring, and governance also.
Yeah, maybe it's related to responsible AI, hence I will answer and others can join in. So first and foremost, yes, black box is an issue. There are various models you are not able to clearly call out how it came to a particular answer. Yeah, but there are methods that you can build, especially through responsible AI explainability methods, to trace out how these decisions are taken, or they came to a conclusion of an answer and all that, right? There are methods by which you can do that, right? So while yes, some models are black box, but there are methods to ensure that you bring in explainability in that.
Yeah, and if you look at the size of intelligence, right? If you have to compare AI, it is compared to possibly size of the brain of a fish, okay? And the size of a human brain is much, much bigger. And I would say it can process a lot more information. It is not that AI can run by itself. Obviously I would say some years of work have gone into making it run by itself, and it is not so autonomous yet, or it is not so fully autonomous the way we are explaining. So I think there is still a lot of work to be done. But at this point, if you have to compare it to the degree of intelligence, it is just as intelligent as the size of a brain of a fish. That is where it is.
Hey, I tell you how AI works. 2 2s are.
4.
No, my model says 1.2. Since my model is yet learning, sir, what is the difference? 4 minus 1.2? 2.8. That's an error. What is our role? Reducing that error. So that's a learning journey from 1.2 to you have to reach as close as 4. That's how the model works. I don't believe black box. Everything is purely mathematics, guys. Okay, so whatever you are trying to learn, hypothesis, so that we incultivate over here, it is incorporate. Okay, probability. Sun rises in the east. Am I giving information? It's a fact. Am I giving information? If I say that statement, if I don't say that statement, sun rises in the east only. So what is the probability? 100% probability is 1. I am not giving any information to you. So what I am suggesting over here, it is remove all the negative thoughts. Nothing is black box. Everything is purely mathematics. That's the reason in the trolls also you might have observed. There is a statistician behind every data scientist, which is most important. If you are good at mathematics, so for sure, a lot of opportunities you have within this domain.
Great. I think, big small question. You have one small question? Question should be small. Answer will solve be small. Okay.
So I will take the next question. I'm answering same question, Please go ahead, yeah.
Can I attempt to answer? Because I have Googled it before coming as a moderator. I saw in Indian organizations the usage of AI is 72%, it seems. That's what Google says. Now experts can say anything.
No, I think the usage definition varies. How do you define it? The definition could be that what percentage of jobs are 100% done by AI. That is one definition. What percentage of jobs are touched by AI is another definition, right? In the organizations, I would say we are at a stage where still the numbers are looking good, decent when it comes to number of percentage of tasks which are being touched by AI. Complete end-to-end, far long and distance to cover. Combining your question and the previous question, just imagine if everything is done by AI. If everything is done by AI, there is no human required. Just think who will be the buyer, who will be the seller? Do you think AI will buy and AI will sell? Human at the end of the day has to buy and sell, right? So there is going to be job for human. There is going to be different kind of job for human. And those who will evolve, those who will take their learning to align with the industry change will definitely survive and thrive.
I think one more girl wants to go. Short question, short answer. Okay, yeah.
So with AI, what are those specific human skills which would be irreplaceable in the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay. I'll possibly answer the previous question and this question. Instead of looking at what is the percentage of jobs which are automated or for which you are using AI, you should look at what kind of jobs are being done by AI. Okay? And you should go domain by domain. If you look at digital marketing, a lot of it is already done by AI. There is only so much for a human to do. If you look at the complete legal process, I would say around 30-40% is done by AI. So I think you need to look at specialize by domain and then get into it. And then coming to this question, to what extent will it be replaceable? To what extent it will not be replaceable? It will not be replaceable at a macro level. If the process is well defined, if the process is telling you what to do step by step, you can almost comfortably assume that.
She also asked, what are the qualities that human being has to,
Yeah. So you need to look at where you can apply your intelligence. Okay. If you want to conduct this event, you have to look at what is the kind of people you need to invite, what is the kind of questions you need to ask, and you need to look at what is the kind of output that you are looking at, which is all the more important. Okay, you can invite 10 people, but are you getting the output that you need, which is what you need to focus on. Okay, if you are just focusing on what questions I need to ask, it will be done by AI. Okay, so you should always look at a kind of macro level planning, and you should look at how to build things. That is where you need to focus on. And I think wherever you have a human intelligence that can play a big role at a macro level, yes, it is going to be there. At a micro level, task level, it is not going to be there.
Great. We are at 16:58. We close this panel discussion.